Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Vidur, and in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you how to solve the 4x4 Rubik's Cube. Before we begin, you need to know how to solve a 3x3, because we'll be reducing the 4x4 into a 3x3 state. If you don't know how to solve a 3x3, check the description for my 4-part series that will teach you how to solve a 3x3. And for those who already know, let's get started. The method I'll be teaching you in this video is called the reduction method. The first step of the reduction method is solving all of the centers. Next, we solve all of the edges, which reduces the 4x4 into a 3x3 state. You might also get some parity cases, like this one and this one, which I'll be explaining later on. Before we move on, there are just a couple of things that you need to know. Now on a 3x3, if I were to ask you to execute the move R, all you would have to do is just turn the right layer, because there's only one layer on the right. But on a 4x4, you'd notice that there are two right layers. So if you ever encounter a normal move notation, like the one on the screen, just move the outermost layer. So if I were to ask you to execute the move R on a 4x4, you just have to turn the outermost right layer, which would be this layer. The next thing that you need to know are wide moves. Now on a 4x4, wide moves turn not one, but two layers at a given time. And when expressed in move notation format, you'll notice that each move notation has a W at the end, as shown on screen. So if I were to ask you to execute R wide, you'd have to turn the first two right layers. So these two layers, like this. The last thing that you need to know is the order of centerpieces relative to the white and yellow centers. Now on a 4x4, centerpieces can be moved around. As you can see here, the white and blue centers have been scrambled up. So it's important to know the order of where each center should be solved at, otherwise the 4x4 won't be solved correctly. So when white is on the top and yellow is on the bottom, the order will go as follows: blue, orange on the right, and to the right of orange is green, and to the right of green is red. And this cycle just repeats and starts back at blue. An easy way to memorize this order is by memorizing the first letter of each of these colors. So it would go like this: B, O, G, and R. Now it's time to start learning how to solve a 4x4. Follow the scramble that's shown on the screen. If you don't understand all the move notations right now, that's okay. I'll be doing the scramble below so that you can follow along. first step to solving a 4x4 is making all of the centers. Now we're going to start off by solving the white center, since it's the easiest to follow. Now you just want to look for any center pieces that have white. So our first piece is over here. Our second piece is over here. Our third piece is over here. And our fourth piece is over here. Once you've found all of your pieces, you want to focus on just two of them, because we're going to be creating a bar. Now I'll show you how to do that. So first, just find two pieces that you want to focus on. I'll be focusing on this piece and this piece. Now what you want to do is you want to bring both pieces into the same layer. Now as you can see right now, if I bring this piece up, these two pieces are still not going to be in the same layer. So what I can do is I can move it out of the way so this entire side is free. And now I can bring this piece up, and this creates a bar. So once you've created your first bar, you want to find the other two white pieces and create the second bar. Now the third and fourth white pieces are here and here. And as you can see, this side is completely free of any white pieces. So I can just move this white piece up into this layer. But now you'll notice that instead of creating a bar, I created a diagonal. Now just to fix this, all you need to do is just move this back down and rotate the top layer and just try again. Now as you can see, I have the second bar completed. So once you've created both of the white bars, you want to move them into the same layer. Now if I try to do this now, I obviously can't, because this layer has a white bar in it. So all I need to do is just rotate this top layer so that the layer above this white bar is free of any white pieces. Now all I need to do is just move this layer up so that both the bars are in the top layer. After you solve the white center, you now need to solve the yellow center. Now in reference to what I said previously about the order of colors, the white side and the yellow side are opposite to each other, which means that if the white side is over here, the yellow side would be over here. So this is where we're going to be solving our yellow side on. So now we're just going to rotate and find all of the yellow center pieces. So now we have two over here, which is good because now we have a complete bar. We have our third one on top of the correct face, and we have the fourth one over here. So now I'm going to first try bringing this bar up into the top face over here. I'm first going to rotate the front face so that my bar is vertical. Now all I have to do is bring it up to the layer. But you'll notice that my white bar has been broken up. So in order to fix this, we need this layer to be free of any yellow bars. So we can just rotate this layer twice so that our bar is not going to interfere with these two white bars. So once that's done, you just need to bring it down. And now we have a bar on the top layer, and we still have our white center. So now we need to insert this piece and this piece. We're not going to be creating a bar this time, otherwise it would get way too complicated. Instead, we're going to be inserting both pieces individually. Now if I just bring this yellow piece up into the layer, the white center gets broken up. But if I just do a replacement, now the bar gets displaced. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to rotate the top layer until this piece and this bar are in this same layer. Now we're going to move this up so both the bar and the white center get broken up. And now we're just going to rotate this top layer twice. And now we just have to bring it back down. So this brings the bar and this piece that we were trying to insert before into the yellow face. And we still have our white center intact. Now we just have to bring this piece up into this slot over here. We can't do this by any conventional methods, so I'm gonna just show you this cool little trick. First, we're gonna rotate this front layer until this yellow piece is on the top left of this center. Now we're gonna make sure that these three pieces are in this order, so that the last remaining slot is on the bottom right of the center. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move this layer up. So this creates a bar here and here. Now we're going to rotate the top face like this. So now this layer is free of any yellow pieces. And all we need to do now is bring this layer back down. So this solves the yellow center and the white center. So once you solved your yellow and white centers, we now have to solve the other four. I'm going to start off by solving the blue center first in this video, because the previously mentioned order of colors starts off with blue first. So now you just got to look around in this middle layer for any blue center pieces. So now there's two over here, and we have a bar over here. Now it's great that we have a bar already created for us over here. If you don't have one, that's okay. You just gotta create another one in the way that we created the yellow bar or the white bar. But once you have your bar completed, we're going to be inserting the other two pieces individually. So right now our bar is interfering with both of these pieces, which we don't want. So we're going to just rotate this layer so that our bar leaves one of the two layers open. In my case, it left this layer open, which means that I can insert this piece. Alright, now we just need to insert the last piece. Now, similar to how we solved the yellow center, we're first going to make sure that this last piece is on the top left of this center. Now we just need to make sure that the other three pieces make this pattern. Now we're just going to bring this layer up so that we create a bar here, and we still have a bar in the back. We just need to now move this bar out of the way so this is preserved. Now we can just move this layer back down, which solves the blue center. Alright, next we're going to start solving the orange center. So remember, when the white side is on the top and your blue is on the front, the orange center will be on the right of the blue center. So this is where we're going to be inserting our piece. So now we're just going to look for orange center pieces. So we have one here, we have one here, and we have a bar on this side. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to try bringing this bar over to the orange face. So to do this, I'm first going to make this bar vertical. Next, I'm going to just rotate the cube for better alignment, and I'm going to try bringing this bar over to this face. Now, I'm going to rotate this layer twice so that I bring this bar over onto the top. Now, as you notice, the blue center has been broken up. So in order to fix this, we're just going to rotate this top layer until this bar is no longer in this layer. Once that's done, we just need to undo those two moves that we previously did. And this creates the bar, and in some cases, will also preserve the centerpiece that's already in the spot. Alright, so now we just need to insert this last piece. So our last piece is over here. So first I'll just rotate the cube so that's in the front, and these three pieces are on the top. Next, I'm going to make sure that this piece is on the top left. Now, I'm going to make sure that these three pieces are in this pattern. So once that's done, we just have to bring this layer up to create this bar and this bar. Now we just gotta rotate so that this bar is no longer in this layer and bring this side back down, which creates the orange center. Now we just need to solve the green and the red centers. So again, when white is on the top and blue is on the front, orange is on the right, green is on the back, and red is on the left. So now we'll start off by solving the green center. So if I just look over here, I'll notice that I already have 3 pieces and our last piece is over here. So first what we're going to do is, we're going to just rotate this layer so that this piece is on the top left. Next, we're just going to move these 2 layers up to create a bar. Now we're going to just rotate this top layer away so that this bar has nothing to do with this layer. Now we can just move it back down. Now you'll notice that after solving the green center, the red center had also solved. Now this is because we only had 1 green and 1 red center piece left to solve after we had completed the blue and orange centers. In other cases, you may also have 2 or even 3 center pieces to solve for the other 2 sides. Now, if you get that case, all you need to do is just repeat the steps that I had shown previously, and you should be able to come to the same place as I am now. Before solving the edges, you want to make sure that your centers are all in the right spot. So first, just make sure white is on the top and blue is on the front. When these 2 centers are in this specific orientation, orange will be on the right, red will be on the left, green will be on the back, and yellow will be on the bottom. Now it's time to start solving all of the edge pieces. So first, you just want to look around and find any pairs. Now a pair is just 2 of these matching edge pieces. So the pair I'm going to be using for this example is the red and white edge pairs. So first, you want to make sure that your pairs are in the same middle layer. So right now, mine are not. So I've just got to move this layer up so that these 2 edge pieces are in the same layer. You'll notice that this entire middle layer is composed of an upper and lower layer. You want to make sure that no 2 edge pieces are in the same middle layer. So right now, mine are in the same layer, and I'm going to show you what you can do in order to bring this piece down to this area. So you want to just follow this simple algorithm. Right side up, top face to the right, right side down, front face clockwise, right side down, front face counterclockwise, and right side up. So after doing the algorithm, these 2 pieces should be in different layers. So now we're going to pair them up. So first we're going to turn just one of these layers to the other piece to pair them up, like that. Now you'll notice that after doing that slice move, the other centers have been broken up. So in order to fix this, we're going to replace this edge with an unsolved edge in the top layer. So I'm going to rotate this side up, and I'm going to bring one of these unsolved edges into this layer so I can bring it back down and bring this layer back together, which solves the rest of the centers and now gives us a solved edge. So now you basically just want to repeat this for every other edge piece until the last 2. So I found my next pair here. I'm just going to bring them down into this middle layer. Now I'll notice that these 2 pieces are in the same layer. So I'm going to do the algorithm to bring this piece down here. Next, I'm just going to pair them up. I'm going to bring this side up, replace this piece with an unsolved piece like this, bring it back down, and align the cube again. my next pair is over here and here. So these two pieces are in different middle layers already, so I can just pair them up, bring this up, replace this piece with this piece by doing the top layer twice, bring this down, and moving this center back together. So now my next pair is over here. So I'm gonna bring these pieces up into this middle layer. Now these two pieces are in different layers, so I can pair them up, replace, and bring centers back. So now you basically just want to repeat this over and over again until you have 2 edge pieces remaining. So I've solved all of the other edge pieces except for the last 2. This is because there is a different way to solve the last 2 instead of slicing and breaking up the centers, because there are no other edge pieces to replace the ones that we're going to be solving. So first thing we want to do is make sure that our edge pairs are in the same layer. And this is only for this case. So I just did the edge flipping algorithm, which made sure that these 2 pieces and these 2 pieces are in the same layer. Now what you want to do is next you're going to do a wide move. So you're going to turn these 2 layers to the right once, like that. Now you're just going to rotate the cube so that this block is on the right. And you're going to do the flipping algorithm again. And now you just want to undo that wide move that you did before. So that solves the last 2 edge pieces. So after solving all of the edge pieces, you can now solve the 4x4 like a 3x3. So now I'm just going to quickly solve the first 2 layers. Because there are 2 things that you need to know. Alright, so when solving the last layer, you can encounter something called a parity. A parity is a state in where the cube can only be solved with a special algorithm. Looking at the yellow side over here, this doesn't look like any sort of OLL algorithm or any case from the beginner's method that can be solved normally. As you can see, one of these edges is obviously flipped, but we don't know which one. In that case, we're just going to do this algorithm. So hold yellow side on the top and follow along. So that was the first parity. As you can see, I have a proper OLL case, just like a 3x3. And I can also solve this properly using the beginner's method. Now there is also a second parity that you can encounter. I've seen this happen a lot with those using methods like CFOP. So as you can see, this doesn't match any PLL case. I think it's supposed to be what's called a V-perm, where it looks like this on a 3x3. But clearly it's not. This is another way that your final parity. So in order to solve this parity, hold yellow on the top and do the following algorithm. So now, as you can see, I have a normal PLL case, and I can also solve the cube using the beginner's method. And just like that, if you did everything correctly up until here, you should now have a solved 4x4. Thanks for watching.